This program is about leadership, social justice, and humanity, and everything that concerns us as human beings. People would rather not talk about them, yet they have views to be expressed, challenged, and discussed. Hello, the purpose of this program is to challenge, educate, create awareness, and provoke debates on leadership, religion, traditions, cultures, morality, and other social issues that contend to control the way we live, but yet no one wants to speak about them. Welcome to Xraywithjenny. Today, we are going to discuss immigration and the continuous migration of Africans from Africa into the West. My big question is, can any leader, can any supporter of any leader in good conscience watch Africans dying in high seas purely because they are struggling to get away from situations we have created in our own continent? Who is to blame? Is that the leaders of Africa, or the people of Africa, or the West? Please come with me and have an insight into what we are going to discuss today.
L'échange avec les États, pas grave. Pas grave.
Welcome back. I'm sure that you have all looked at the clip. I'm not sure what your views are, but I tell you the truth. Often these days, when I come back and sit down to watch the news, I end up in despair. I end up in deep worries about our world. I just cannot understand where we are going. Of course, as I said earlier on, man is migratory by nature. We like to travel. We like to go to places that we don't know about. We want to see new things. But what I'm seeing today, it's no longer about adventure. It's no longer about finding out about how other people live. It's about running away from troubles at home and running into safety. The trouble is, most times when we run away from our problems to go to other parts of the world where we think that we may actually be safe, we may be safe. But what about the life and the suffering that will follow? In most countries, you are required to be legitimately living in such countries. That means that you must have the authorization or the authority to live in those countries. This means in the United Kingdom where I live that you have to have what they call leave to remain. And in order to have leave to remain, you have to qualify on various grounds. For people running away from trouble, you need to satisfy the authorities that you're running away from persecution, not prosecution, and you are not an economic migrant. But what I'm witnessing today, what I am seeing today is that majority of us are not really running away because of actual persecution. It is purely about the economy not being right, about people not living the life they are entitled to by right, because all of us, and majority of us, especially Africans, are actually endowed by nature with wealth. But the wealth seems to be in the hands of a few, a minority, who have continued to mismanage this wealth. And by so doing, they've created poverty, they've created inequality, they've created hatred. People don't like one another, and because the situation is usually very unbearable, many people find solace in trying to escape. And in trying to escape, how do we do it? We also give in to exploitation by our own relatives, by our own brothers, who are actually seeing us or who actually call themselves agents. And what do these agents do? They take money off people who are already suffering. People sell their land, people sell their possessions, they are promised life. They are promised everything better in life in unknown lands. They are going to places that they had never been before, but they are promised that once they get there, all their pains and sufferings would go. The unfortunate situation is that the journeys into these places out of our own countries can be quite perilous. As you have seen in the clip there, a lot of Africans leave home in the hope of getting to this promised land, but they never make it. They die on their way. Some have died in the deserts. Some have died in the seas. Some of their bodies have been picked up and they have been buried in mass graves. I think about the day many of us were born. There was so much celebration. And by virtue of my tradition in Africa, when people go in right old age too, we celebrate their lives. But to think that someone would leave home in the hope of making a better life, and then they die on their way. They are buried in mass graves, unidentified graves, and people at home are still waiting for them to come back in the hope that they will come back with something better than they had before. And they are not celebrated. They are not mourned. We don't give them funerals. That really bothers me. And then takes me to the point, who is to blame for this journey out of Africa, out of other parts of the world to unknown? And how do we settle? What is the life that we are running to? A lot of times for those that manage to make it, you come into a different form of suffering because you have no right to be here. You are not persecuted because of religion, because of your tribe, or because of other usual things recognized by the convention. But you're running away from hardship, and hardship is not recognized by majority of the countries. Therefore, you are not allowed to stay. You then enter into a different phase of your life. And this different phase of your life is one of exploitation, oppression, and suppression by, again, your own people. We blame the system. And when we blame the system, we say, oh, it's so unjust. But who is making the system so unjust? They have got laws, rules, and regulations that guide relationships with people who are visiting their countries, with people who want to live in their countries. We have not met the requirements. And because we have not met the requirements, we must also appreciate that if you don't meet the requirements, you have to deal with the challenges of not meeting the requirements. But are people to blame? Can we blame ourselves? Everybody wants to have a better life. People are struggling. People are fighting. People are dying. But then to think that these things are happening and we still have leaders who can sit comfortably in their own homes with money made from assets belonging to both of us, all of us, and they watch as people die, they watch as people perish, they watch as people cry, they watch as women carry their children and everything they own, wandering in the desert, wandering in the bush, trying to survive, and they still want to hold on to power. And to make matters worse, the people who help them to stay in power are the same people who are suffering. Majority of them, I believe, do so because they are hoping that by supporting them, they will have a better life, or they will have the chance to one day become like them. But is this the way forward? Is this how we are supposed to live? Is this the way God has made it for us Africans and many people from all over the world? I don't think so. What I think is that we are not challenging our leaders enough. And our leaders do not understand what leadership is about. Leadership is about service to humanity. It's about service to the people. It's about equality. It's about everybody feeling a sense of belonging and ownership. And as a leader, when you give your people a sense of ownership and belonging, they want to play their part, because leadership is not about control. It's not about impunity. It's about everybody playing their role. The citizens have a role to play. The leaders have a role to play. If we don't play our respective roles, things won't happen. So I'm beginning to say to people again, how do we get out of this situation? How do we make lives safe in Africa and other parts of the world? We complain about repression. We complain about oppression. And at our own convenience as well, we complain about the West instigating strife in our own continent. But how long for? When are we going to take control of our own lives and say what we want? When are we going to take our leaders to task and tell them exactly where they are taking us, what we want as a people, and make it clear to them that we are all equal before God and the law? And that being the case, we need to do things together. We need to respect each other's rights. And where the leaders are not performing, we must give up the sentiments of tribe, religion, and race, and the rest of the people, of the things that continue to control the way we think. We must recognize that when leaders are not leading properly, it's affecting all of us. The problem of someone from northern Nigeria, eastern Nigeria, western Nigeria, southern Nigeria, is not different from that of the other. And the reason for this is that it's all about poverty. It's all about marginalization. You have a man or a woman trying to survive, selling peanuts, selling water in order to survive. And you have another one who is living a full life, doing whatever they want to do because they have taken control of leadership in our country. And yet, they are trying to encourage us to hate one another. And when we hate one another, we lose control of what belongs to us. How do we adjust? How do we address this issue? Because it's a burning one that must be dealt with immediately. And as I take another break, I would invite everyone to reflect on what I have said today and what you have seen in the film. And then tell me, let's come back together and find a solution to our own problems. The migration must stop. The brain drain on Africa must stop. The oppression and suppression must stop. But in order for it to stop, it's a journey that all of us will have to make together.
We're in Calais, where just a few days ago the police cleared out a migrant camp where up to 300 people were living. They moved in, bulldozed down their makeshift tents and moved people on. Now around 100 of these migrants have come back to this camp here. You've got someone just sleeping completely on the ground, no tent, no nothing. Pretty dismal situation, to be honest. There seems to be quite a regular stream of people coming back into the camp. I guess it's possible that they've tried to jump the border last night, which we're told is when a lot of that activity happens. Obviously unsuccessful, and are filtering back into the camp. Morning.
Morning.
What happened?
Police catch.
And you got turned back?
Aye, we drawn back.
And you're trying to get into the UK?
Aye, we drawn into the UK.
And what do you want there?
We want asylum there. There is the best life, the people say. There is a human rights, so that's why we come to go to UK.
We spoke to Jamal, an Afghan refugee making his second attempt into the UK from Calais.
Thank you very much, Jamal. Tell me, how did you end up here in Calais?
I come from Afghanistan. From Afghanistan, went to Pakistan. From Pakistan, I come to Iran. From Iran, I come to Turkey. From Turkey, I went to Bulgaria. From Bulgaria, I come to Greece. From Greece, I come to Italy. From Italy, I come to France. I've been here for like more than 3 months.
Why did you have to leave Afghanistan?
Because of our war. If you work with the Taliban, like I mean, you join Taliban, the army will kill you. If you join army, Taliban will kill you.
Sure.
If you stay in the middle, both of them they kill you.
What did you expect when you came to Calais? Well, you thought you could get to the UK easily, or?
No, easily. It's very hard. Trying many times, about like 5-6 times, and the police was catching and find out in a truck and then take off. So many people was killed as well because it's very dangerous. This is you have to play with your life. My friend was being killed. He was I think jumped on a truck, and then he fell down.
Does that not scare you?
My friend, when you need it, when you are in a trouble and a problem, you can play with the death as well.
In the camp, the conditions were squalid. The migrants had no showers, 3 overflowing portaloos for toilets, and no access to healthcare. We spoke with one of the refugees who'd been living in Calais after fleeing from war in Afghanistan.
So how long have you been here, John?
4 months.
What's it like living here?
Bullshit, same like animal. Animal is better than us. I live here.
You live here?
Yeah.
You all live here?
Yeah,
You all
I
sleep
live-
here?
yeah.
How many?
15 people. Sometimes I sleep outside because it's many people.
And were you in the camp over there before?
Yeah, I've been there. And police is coming, destroy everything. I stayed on my tent. I drink coffee. Police coming behind me. He pushed me first time from my backside.
Yeah.
And kicked my face.
Kicked you in the face?
Yes.
Wow.
My nose is broken. Police is from French can do anything, and nobody can answer for me.
You sit here?
Yeah.
Nice. Comfortable. Comfortable when it's dry. No, imagine not so much when it's raining. Some people say that you come to the UK, you're just going to take benefits, you're not going to work. I mean, what do you think to that?
We don't want any benefit from UK authority because we are young, we have enough power, and we can work there.
What kind of jobs did you have? I mean, what kind of people are here?
Well, actually, I'm a writer and journalist. I published 3 of my books.
We sat with many migrants in Salam who were convinced that the UK would offer them a better life than the ones they'd left behind.
In line like this.
What are you guys eating? Kidney beans? I'll try it.
Sit down, brother.
You sure?
Yeah.
Was this your first meal of the day?
Yeah.
It's nice, it's nice.
You guys went to in jungle or no?
Yeah, we want to, yeah. If you could take us, that'd be great.
Okay, first let me go ask the guy.
Jamal offered to take us to another camp outside of Salam, known ominously as the Jungle. But as word spread, his uncle stepped in and told us that it was too dangerous. We still wanted to see what was going on there, so Jamal showed us the location on a map and wished us luck as we made our way without him.
This is creepy. Seems to be quite an obvious trail going through here. As you get closer, there becomes more rubbish on the floor. It doesn't seem like anybody's here anymore. It's 6 a.m, we're at the lorry park in Calais. Just over there is the jungle, and here we have lorries going to all different places in Europe, specifically the UK, which is where most of the migrants want to go. Now, everyone we've spoken to, they want to get out of Calais, they want to get out of France as soon as possible, so they come here, they try to stow aboard the lorries, and already we've seen one driver get out of his cab, pull back the tarpaulin, and look for stowaways. When we spoke to some of the migrants in Salam, they said that they actually hide underneath these tiny spaces in the lorry. And whilst this is moving at high speed, if they fall, it's certain death.
We'd seen dozens of tents at Salam, but with the arrival of a charity providing free food, only then did it become apparent how many refugees there really were in the city. Reports suggest that there are now over 800 migrants in Calais, after the number of new arrivals doubled in the last 2 months.
Yeah, I've got to get out of this fucking rain. Hello? Room for us? Jeez.
Rainy day.
Rainy, yeah, horrible.
Rainy day.
It's drier in here than it is over there. They're soaked. All their bedding's wet, everything. But who built this?
I built it.
You built it?
And very easy. I make in 10 minutes this.
Really?
Yeah.
Should be a builder.
Yeah.
You miss being back home in Afghanistan?
Yeah, of course. The mostly parents.
When was the last time you spoke to your parents?
Oh, spoke like 1 month before.
When did you leave Afghanistan?
When I was 16.
When you were 16? Wow. So more than 10 years?
10 years.
More than 10 years, wow. And you've been trying to get to England ever since?
Yeah.
What's in the bag?
Yeah, many stops. Clothes, shoes, new shoes.
Okay.
New clothes, shampoos.
This is basically everything you own
Yeah,
in one bag.
yeah. I got another bag, small one, inside in this. When I'm going to try, I leave this one, big one here. The small one, I take this one
Right, okay.
with me and then go.
So this is what you will take with you, basically like a kit to try and escape into England with.
Everybody go.
Everyone's got these
When
packs.
Yeah, always new, we didn't use it. If you are in this clothes, this will be no problem because everybody will know that
Right.
dirty this and this.
So they'll spot you, they'll think
Yeah.
you're a migrant. Okay. So when you get to the UK, you'll put all that on and
Yeah,
blend in.
yeah.
As we said our goodbyes and left Salam, we saw a constant stream of migrants wandering by the side of the road. Every day they make this trip, trying to stow away to the UK so they can get out of the desperate situation in Calais. A week after leaving Calais, we heard conditions at Salam had deteriorated. The district council, however, had supposedly come up with a solution to the migrant situation. So these guys are from the prefecture and they've just come to tell everybody what their future holds here at Salam.
La dernière fois que je suis venu ici, j'avais expliqué le samedi que ici ça ne pouvait pas rester un camp. Malheureusement, nous avons constaté que personne n'a bougé ici et que peut-être même il y a encore plus de monde que quand j'étais venu.
What's the purpose behind the hunger strike?
Actually, we want from British authority to take responsibility for our situation
Yeah.
in our conditions.
Whose idea was it to hunger strike?
All guys.
Everyone decided.
Yeah, everyone decided. Because here's life is so difficult.
How do you all feel? I mean, you look, John, you look different, man.
I ate there, didn't eat.
How do you feel? How do you feel inside your head?
I feel really bad.
Yeah.
I think all these guys decide is if we die, it's better than this life.
The situation in Calais has been ongoing for 15 years now. For every camp the authorities flatten, a new one is bound to pop up. Every day, more and more migrants are crossing the Mediterranean to seek refuge in Europe. Many of them are headed for the UK and will likely end up stuck at these borders.
This program is about leadership, social justice, and humanity, and everything that concerns us as human beings. People would rather not talk about them, yet they have views to be expressed, challenged, and discussed. Hello, the purpose of this program is to challenge, educate, create awareness, and provoke debates on leadership, religion, traditions, cultures, morality, and other social issues that contend to control the way we live, but yet no one wants to speak about them. Welcome back. Now it's a moment of reflection. As we all know, evil thrive because good people are silent. Is silence still the option for us? Have we not been silent too long? Is it not the time to start asking questions of our leaders? I think it's time. And I want to encourage everybody. A lot of times people think you talk too much. People think you're too militant. People think you're being too feminist. But rest assured, you're not. It is your right to ask questions. I want everybody to now begin to reflect on the experiences of our own people. Many people who started this journey who never made it. Those who made it to the West or wherever they were escaping to, but are still suffering. Those who have actually made it and they're happy, they have learned a lot. It is time for us to pull together and begin to think of our ways of dealing with our challenges. And the best way forward will be to begin to ask questions of our leaders, questions of our church faith leaders, questions of people in our groups, questions of people in our community. The important thing is that we have a strategy. We speak to one another, we think together, and we ask valid questions. Violence is no longer the option, because what I see a lot of times is that the people who control us, the people who hold power, know that once they encourage us to start fighting one another, we will be distracted from the main issues. We must give up violence. We must begin to talk. The idea of people like Boko Haram in Nigeria, Al-Shabaab in Somalia, and the rest of them must stop. It is not the answer. The people against these groups, the people or people who are encouraging these groups are not for us. They are the same people who are using you and I to achieve their aims. And it's about time that we begin to think and ask questions. We begin to think and work together. Forget my religion. Forget my tribe. Forget my gender. Look at my views. Look at the issues that unite you and I. Poverty, degradation, deprivation, and denials. These are issues that are common to all of us. So my question is, are we still going to remain silent? Is it time for us to come together, unite, and do something for humanity and ourselves? What legacies are we leaving our children if we must remain silent? Let's go, my people. Let's talk more. Let's act more. But let's be peaceful about it. Let's eschew violence, because violence is not the way forward. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time. This program is about leadership, social justice, and humanity, and everything that concerns us as human beings. People would rather not talk about them, yet they have views to be expressed, challenged, and discussed.